Hello, my friends. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to whoever's watching. A bit of a somber morning. Nothing too horrible, I suppose, but again, doing these in real time. I woke up to go to the gym this morning around 6:40 a.m. and realized that there was a bunch of stuff stolen from my garage. Photos, documents, knickknacks, like I think there was like a couple of like not big music instrument stuff, but like small things, and that's just that's frustrating. It's tough, because it's things you just I don't know if I'm getting them back. I'm unfortunately most certain that I won't. And and you realize how much you hold on to. So like first off, I want to say that I am handling the situation. I'm checking cameras. I'm contacting people. I'm not just gonna let this slip by and make some fucking YouTube video about it. It's not that. I am handling it, but I actually decided that it was an interesting topic because yesterday I was mulling over the past. I was mulling over better times. Times when things didn't feel so complicated, and times when you were so I don't know, it's like you were I guess that you were generally looked after, and so there was a lot of ease in things, like you didn't really feel alone necessarily. And then I realized you come into adulthood and then you kind of realize like one day it kind of really does feel like one day, doesn't it, that people kind of just go, okay, we'll figure it out. Or maybe you're given that choice early on, because I know there's a lot of people who don't really have that guidance, who and it's no offense to them. I'm just saying it more from the sense of they've had to figure things out from an early age. I know a lot of people like that, you know, um, but regardless, still there is this one day where all of a sudden you have to realize that you're the one who has to clean up the mess. You're the one who has to make quick decisions and have it figured out. You're the one who has to be resourceful. It really starts to weigh on you that you're not in this playground anymore. And on top of that, there's attachment. There's things that we hold on to. So when I was saying I was thinking about the past, I was thinking about how I often do in my process of healing. I was thinking about times where I was like in this bliss and then wondering if I can get back to that again. Wondering like, I know I have good times. I know that I've worked hard on myself and my spirit. I know that I've really come to grips with a lot of things, and that I sit with my emotions. Like there's a lot of maturity that I've come into, that I'm developing, that I'm growing into to be the man that I want to be. It's a lot of work and I'm still doing it. But attachment is crazy. And getting my stuff stolen, there's so much stuff in there. Letters, photos, jewelry, gifts, instruments, things from other moves that I made. And it was interesting because I was even thinking to myself, there's other people's energy on these things. So I was like, I obviously, again, I'm handling it like a normal person, but then I was thinking about it in a sort of a universal sense. And I was like, what am I not paying attention to here? Because obviously, like, I'm going to move my stuff to a safer place, and my garage is no longer safe because this is the third time I've been stolen from, unfortunately. But all that aside, I was like, man, like now there's stuff that I'm just never going to see again, like I said earlier. And I was like, wow, like life is really just like that. There's just one day you wake up and your security is breached. Your ego is shattered. Your reality is flipped upside down because we lost something. We lost somebody. We lost stuff. It's a really tricky path to walk down, the path of detachment, but it's not impossible. But, in this moment, it's really bittersweet for me. I have to detach. I didn't want to, and I have to. But again, I think that's just life, right? Like, I'm making this video in a really vulnerable time because it's like, man, holy shit. Like, I literally woke up this morning and it was all gone. And I'm like, I have to just accept I'm not getting that shit back. And then I started to think about, wow, how fitting. And again, that's me putting things together, but I also really believe in the universe, and I believe in God. I'm not a churchgoer, but I believe in God and what he is to me. He, she, is to me. I think to detach is something that all of us have to do eventually. And what's unfortunate is some of us are forced into it. Like I was saying, we lose somebody or we lose things, right? But I had to quickly do an inventory in my head this morning of being like, okay, well, all this stuff is gone, but I kept it in a box and I was doing that whole denial thing. And then I was thinking about, like I'm allowed to say it's important to me, but what's more important is I like checked around the things that really matter to me. And I still have them, my family, then the people who I love. And that does matter to me because those are the first people I called. And I just was like, man, like if all of this was gone, it would be hurtful, but I would still make it through. And I really realized it's like, I don't have certain attachments to things, but I still have attachments. I still have stuff that, keeps me up at night from time to time. And the reason why I'm bringing this up isn't because I'm an expert in detachment. I'm not. It's a process. And right now I'm going through it in real time. After I'm done making this video, I got to go make some calls and do some things, but I figured it would be appropriate because it's real. You know what I mean? Like I'm going through it. So to get to the point of the video, after all that describing and all that sort of stuff, that I, was trying to like lead up to this is detachment. It's like, that is the hardest thing to do in the process of healing. In the process of healing, to basically say that the people who hurt you, you got to forgive them and move on, or just move on. Forgive, but don't forget kind of thing. Like, or forget it, or just drop it, like there's that whole example of like, you get into a fight with someone, you don't see them for a long time, and then you get that call that they're not here anymore on this earth. And then you wish you could have apologized or done all these things. Like we really do, man. We hold on to so much stuff. I definitely do. I've held grudges, hold grudges. I'm slowly releasing. I'm having this very, ultra human experience. I'm not trying to be perfect. But what I am trying to do is be very conscious of what I feel. And I'm trying to be conscious of my environment. The same way that I have to move my stuff to safety is there's a new boundary I have to make. It's the same thing. And that's why I'm making this video, because all of its layers, right? I had my Facebook get hacked a couple months ago, and it took forever to deal with. Well, it didn't take forever, but like a couple weeks. It was rough, man. It was, because then I got my Facebook back, but then all these other security things were breached, and it's so uncomfortable, right? It's the same thing that happens to it. And it's happened to me a lot over the past, I would say 2 years, especially, where there's just been this massive upheaval. All these things that I thought were safe are being broken down, taken away. The mask is coming off. And at some point you can be mad about it, but you can be mad about it. But at some point you have to just kind of be like, well, I guess, not even just what it is, but like at some point you have to kind of just look at it and be like, all right, well, this is now the new path I have to take. I have to now divert from here and create these steps. And I have to do it in the air of my well-being and my safety. and I can't be paranoid. But it's hard. It's hard when your emotional and physical security have been breached. It takes so much time to heal. But I was thinking about the second that I came up from my garage and was sitting in my living room, I was thinking about, I was really emotional, and I was thinking about all the stuff that was gone. And then I was like, man, I have to carry on. And there's going to be a day very soon here where I'm not going to miss any of that stuff. Cause I wasn't thinking about it while it was here, but now that I know it's gone, there's a lot of attention on it. Right. And isn't that just the fucking truth? You don't think about stuff until it's gone. You don't put value. We put value on the wrong things. And then stuff's gone, and then we have to pay attention to it. It sits in the front of our mind. We as people do not work hard enough to just be appreciative for what we have. Because I don't want to be angry at this. I don't want to be angry at anybody. I'm working on that. And there's times like this where I'm like, man, it's just kind of SOL. I'm shit out of luck. But thank God I have the things that are important to me, man. Cause that's all I can count. That's all I can count on is as long as I have who and what's important to me. And even all those things are temporary, right? Like it's just appreciating stuff, and not taking things for granted. Maybe that's a road to detachment, right? Like maybe just kind of looking at things and being like, I'm so glad I have that. Or I'm so glad for the time. It just helps us appreciate it for the time. It becomes a timestamp. And we don't have to hold up all this emotional and physical space of stuff. Because at the end, it's just stuff. At the end, feelings are just feelings. You feel them and they pass. Thoughts are thoughts, and they come up, and then you can hold on to them as long as you want to, but then you have to let them go eventually, because, it's, our bodies and everything are so connected, and even physical stuff. Like the whole reason why there was stuff in my garage was because I was trying to cleanse. I got rid of a bunch of stuff from 10 years. Then I put the rest of the stuff in my garage, and now that stuff is gone. So now it's like, wow, man, like it just was a crazy, again, uprooting and realization of all that stuff is gone. Some of it I intentionally gave it away, and the rest of it was taken. Always, the message always is appreciate everything in front of you. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate your friends. Appreciate your family and the people who make you laugh and just check on you. And if you don't have much of that, then just look at the people who see you for who you are, who don't judge you. And try not to hold on to stuff, because it's just stuff. Hold on to the things that really matter to you, and create value in who you are and your feelings and the memories and the things that no one can take away from you. I think that's the big lesson. Detachment actually comes with the greatest gift, which is that we no longer hold on to things, but we create value in moments. In this one's gone, and things to come. Really. I'm having a lot of pauses today because, again, this just happened. This is so fresh. But I love you all. I wish you all safety, luck, happiness, and health. And again, I think the art to detachment is just to don't think about what you have in these physical senses. Be grateful for the things you have, but don't hold on to them, because nothing lasts forever. Everything in this world is impermanent. Even the strongest metal can be melted down over time, Even this planet won't last forever. Our lives don't last forever. Nothing does. And anything that you hold on to, whether it's money or material, it just goes away eventually. So I would say the other advice is be wise with your things. Be careful what you leave vulnerable, but also don't spend your time being paranoid, because I can tell you right now, I'm not. I'm just gonna move on to the next thing, and I'm just gonna handle it and detach from it, because I just want to live a happy life. I don't have time to obsess over what was taken from me, because as long as I have this life, I'm gonna live it. And I think that's the takeaway for whoever this resonates with. So again, I wish you all the absolute best. And remember, just don't hold on to anything. It's not worth it. Try to release your feelings, release your thoughts, and release stuff. What no longer serves you, it's not worth holding on to. There's no use living in a crowded house. So just take the time, go through your stuff, find out what's important to you, and then hold on to that moment, be grateful for it, and then let go of the rest.